We're diving deep today into a mindset shift that could change, well, everything. The idea of pretend it's the last time.
It comes from psychology and personal development.
But how does it actually work?
So the idea is that it might change how we experience those small moments, our big relationships, even those goals that always seem so far off.
I feel like we all know that feeling of taking things for granted, like we just assume things will always be there.
It is. And there's a psychological concept called the scarcity heuristic that sort of explains why this last time idea is so effective.
So there's some real science behind this.
Yeah, essentially, our brains, they place a higher value on things that are limited or scarce, So let's say you have a beautiful antique vase. If it's just sitting there on a shelf, it's just part of the decor, right?
Right.
But if you know for a fact that it's the last one in existence, suddenly it's priceless.
So the context changes how we see it.
Exactly. And that's the power of this last time mindset. It shifts how we see our experiences. Everything feels more precious.
And more worthy of our attention.
Right.
This is making me think about procrastination. We always tell ourselves we have time, so we put things off.
It's that illusion of unlimited time.
Exactly.
But this mindset, it challenges that.
So like if you've always wanted to write a novel,
Let's say that you've always dreamed of writing a novel.
but life always gets in the way.
If you approach each writing session as if it were your last chance to actually get that story out of your head and onto the page, wouldn't that feel different?
It would feel a lot more urgent.
Instead of someday, you're confronting the possibility that today might be your only opportunity.
That's a really powerful reframe.
It is.
But how do we actually use this idea in our daily lives? It's not like we can walk around thinking about the end of everything all the time.
No, it's not about dwelling on endings or, getting morbid. It's just using this idea of finality to help us appreciate the present moment.
So even something small like having coffee with a friend.
Even something as simple as having coffee with a friend, if you approach it as if it could be your last cup of coffee together, you're going to be more present, more attuned to them.
You're really going to appreciate that moment.
Every experience, no matter how small, it's a unique event that will never happen in exactly the same way again.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good way to look at it.
So it's about recognizing that.
And savoring those little details.
Yeah, and that's just the beginning. We've talked about savoring everyday moments and tackling procrastination, but this last time lens, it can also have a huge impact on our relationships. And that's where things get really interesting. I think our relationships are probably the most precious things in our lives,
Yeah.
But we often take them for granted.
It's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day stuff. All the little frustrations.
We forget to really appreciate those people.
The people who matter most.
Exactly. So imagine approaching every interaction you have with a loved one as if it could be your last.
That's intense.
That final hug, that last shared laugh, that last real conversation.
I can see how that would make you want to be more present in the moment, more forgiving.
More loving.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a powerful way to look at things.
And a powerful way to communicate.
It is. Think about writing a letter to someone important in your life as if it were the very last thing you'd ever say to them.
That'd be tough.
What would you want them to know? What haven't you said?
I guess it's like a chance to say all the things you've been holding back.
It can be incredibly cathartic and healing.
Yeah, you're acknowledging that your relationship isn't going to last forever.
You can let go of old hurts.
Express your gratitude.
Deepen the connection in a way that you might not have thought possible.
I can see how this last time idea could really help us grow in other areas of life too.
It can, and this leads to another interesting aspect of this mindset. Its potential to help us achieve mastery.
Mastery, like becoming an expert at something.
Exactly. When we believe something is our last chance to do something, we tend to give it our all.
Like an athlete in their final competition.
Exactly. They're not holding anything back. They're leaving it all out there.
So it's about bringing that same intensity to everything we do.
Whether it's a presentation at work, a creative project, even learning a new skill.
So we're not just coasting through life. We're really pushing ourselves.
You're embracing the challenge and giving it your best.
I like that.
You not only increase your chances of success, but you also gain a deeper sense of satisfaction.
Regardless of the outcome.
We often put off pursuing our passions or taking risks because we think we have plenty of time.
We're always waiting for that someday.
But what if we approached each day as if it were our last chance to chase those dreams?
It would definitely make us rethink our priorities.
This idea ties into the whole concept of regret,
Of things we wish we had done.
People often regret the things they didn't do, the chances they didn't take more than the mistakes they made.
That's a good point.
The last time mindset, it can be a powerful way to avoid that regret.
To look back on our lives and feel like we really lived them.
To minimize those what-ifs.
This reminds me of memento mori, the idea of remembering death.
There are definitely some similarities.
Both encourage us to live more intentionally.
Because we're recognizing that our time is limited.
But this last time mindset, it's not just about death, right?
It's not just about death. It's about appreciating every experience, whether it's big or small.
So how can our listeners actually start using this mindset in their own lives?
There are some really simple but powerful things you can do. One approach is to start each day by choosing one activity or interaction that you're going to approach as if it were the last time.
So it could be something small.
It could be making your morning coffee or having dinner with your family or working on a project you're really passionate about.
The key is to bring that awareness of finality to those everyday moments.
And really engage with each experience.
To see it as something special, something unique. We're giving those moments a new meaning.
Exactly. And another thing you can try is to really celebrate those little wins,
The little things we usually just rush through.
Things we take for granted, like folding laundry, watering your plants, even just taking a walk.
What if we approach those things as if it were the last time?
It's about finding the extraordinary in the ordinary.
I like that.
And for those big goals and dreams you've been putting off,
The ones we keep saying we'll get to someday.
imagine that this is your last chance to make them happen.
That would definitely get me moving.
It's about channeling that sense of urgency and taking action.
No more excuses.
It's important to remember, though, that this last time mindset, it's not about living in fear or anxiety.
It's not about always thinking about the worst case scenario.
It's about appreciating how precious life is.
And using that to live more fully right now.
To enjoy the good times and the people we love.
And make the most of every opportunity.
It's about creating a life that's filled with purpose and meaning.
And gratitude.
Remembering that our time is limited, it can help us appreciate the present moment more deeply.
And motivate us to create a life that really matters.
It's an invitation to make the most of this one wild and precious life we have.
To live with intention.
To chase your dreams, cherish your relationships, and savor every experience as if it could be your last.
It's a powerful way to look at things.
It can change how you approach every part of your life.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's one final thought you want to leave with our listeners?
Ask yourself, what's one area where you can apply this last time mindset today?
What have you been putting off that you could start today?
What relationship needs a little extra love?
What experience have you not been fully embracing?
How would pretending it's the last time change how you act and make the experience more meaningful?
Time is precious.
Don't wait for someday.
Make today count.
Live each moment as if it were your last.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Deep Thoughts Podcast. I hope you found insights and inspiration to take with you on your journey of self-growth. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And don't forget to follow us on social media to stay updated on new releases and exclusive content. See you next time, where we'll continue to help you grow and explore your full potential.